A brief message from your friendly neighborhood editing Jordan. We tend to try to keep things pretty PG-13 around here, but this is an improv podcast. So, who knows what we're going to say. Sometimes we throw in some swearing, some sexual content, and some violence. So, as a general warning, viewer discretion is advised. Also to be noted, the opinions stated about a certain tabletop role-playing game are just that, our opinions. We love the game and we like talking about it. So, any criticisms are really just all in good fun. That being said, wizards, please hire us. All right, with that out of the way, let's get on with the show.
Guys. I just got my hands on this brand new Unearthed Arcana playtest that no one else has seen before.
Oh?
Wait,
yeah.
like before the release date?
Yeah, I don't think it hasn't come out yet, right?
Yeah, it's before the release date. There's like 5 classes on here, man.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
I don't want to hear anything because I don't want to get in trouble.
What do you mean get in trouble?
Yeah, why would we get in trouble?
Did you not hear what happened with the magic cards?
Magic cards, no.
Dude, like they're gonna find out that you have that and someone's coming for you, man.
Someone's coming for me? Oh my gosh, finally! You know, I've
What?
just been using dating apps for so long and they don't really work anymore.
Wait, no,
but if they can
Pertuset.
get people straight to me, what?
No, Pertuset, I think you crossed wires there. I think there's a different. I think you misunderstood.
Well, I mean, maybe they're into that.
I just want someone to be here.
Wait, did I cross wires?
With me.
Was Pertuset right?
I can fire up a movie? How long will they stay?
Huh?
I can't cook. They'll have to bring their own. I'm not good at
Do
cooking.
not let him cook.
Please don't. I burn
Do
milk.
not.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Nat One Podcast, aka Nope, because nope, you're not gonna want to hear what we're about to have to say. I'm Pertuset.
I'm Levi.
And I'm Jordan.
Oh, okay.
A little faster than I thought, but we're talking about the one D&D. Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a 2-minute cold open. We can.
No.
True. This is gonna be. I'm assuming this will be actually pretty long because of the sheer amount of content we have to go over here.
Today, if you can't guess, because Pertuset just said it, we're talking about the new UA that just dropped, like, what, 3, 4, 5 days ago?
For us, it was 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Wow, of course it was like the one number I didn't say. But yeah, 2 days ago, new UA just dropped. 5 classes. How many does that bring us to? 9?
A bunch.
Or 8?
We've got them all now, I think.
All of them? All of the base ones?
I'm trying to...
know...
Monk. We're missing Monk.
Yeah, Artificer isn't going to be included. They said that.
Yeah. I believe that's it.
Well then, yeah, so we get... And obviously we're not going to have... what's it called? The other one that's on D&D Beyond, Blood Hunter.
Blood Hunter, yeah. not coming back.
So yeah, we've got right in front of each of us, presumably, is the PDF of Unearthed Arcana 2023 Player's Handbook Playtest 5, which includes a myriad of things. And yeah, we're just gonna get cracking into it right here. For me and Jordan, this is like pretty much, I've done some light skimming like moments before we started this recording.
I haven't looked at anything.
So yeah, this is our first time looking at most of it. And Pertuset has read through the entire thing. So, but I think the first thing I want to talk about, because it's right there on the very first page, and it was the first thing I saw, and I commented on it almost immediately, weapons. They've changed some stuff with weapons, and I think in a good way from what I saw. I liked it.
Big thing, for audience, especially I'll say, if you didn't notice, the big thing about weapons, they remain mostly unchanged. They've changed some damage die and swapped some stuff around. The Trident is no longer a D6, which is massive, because I know that's one of the biggest things that ever stopped me from using it, is it was such poor damage compared to other polearms and stuff. Lance is weird.
Musket and pistol are in there. Polearm too, so like
it is.
I like that they have made it better. People use it more now.
They've committed a primal sin, however. They have removed the net from weapons. It is now adventuring gear.
That's the first thing I saw.
No, oh my gosh, you're right.
This
It
is an
doesn't deal
unforgivable act.
damage. It doesn't deal damage.
I wanted to play a fighter that uses action surge and hits people with 8 nets. Is that so wrong?
Yes, because you would
Well,
literally be doing nothing.
You
They'd be
could,
grappled.
depending on how your DM reads this, you could still technically say you could do that.
Maybe.
Because it says you can replace one of your attacks, but it doesn't say it has to, like, the way it's worded, I could interpret that as you're allowed to replace one of your attacks, so you could replace multiple of your attacks.
What is this? This reminds me of
I'm not reading it as you can only replace one. I'm reading it as you can replace one of your attacks, so you can choose multiple.
There's not really like a meme, like a known format about it, but it's like people in 5e when they can use the ew, why would I ever use that? People in 1D&D when they see they got rid of it. No, it was my favorite. Never get rid of it.
Yeah. Oh,
That's me. I'm in this picture.
I'm in this picture and I love it.
Stay toxic, besties.
Yeah,
all that
like
nonsense
girl
aside.
boss guy Gax.
So there's a few little swap arounds of like which weapons have what properties, how much damage some of them do, whether they're simple or martial now. But the big thing is that now some characters can master. What exactly do they master? A property?
Yes, mastery properties are the big new addition, which I like.
Yes,
I think it's an interesting idea.
I'm all here for it for a lot of reasons, but for the audience, the master properties, basically, I believe if I'm reading it right, you pick a property that your character is really good at using. So you're really good at using heavy weapons, or you're really good at using versatile weapons, etc. Any of the normal properties you know from 5e, you pick one, master it. Rogues could do if they get a feat, I guess, because it's not in their kit yet.
Now each weapon.
Light.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had this conversation before on what was it back when we did, like when we were doing the reviewing all of the stuff in 5e and we reviewed weapons. And we were like, weapons are just bland and they're pretty much just you go from one to the next and then you get stuck on that one until you have a magic version of it and you keep that for the rest of the game depending on what your class is. That's why I like that they've done this, because now this gives you a reason not to pick a sword over a mace because they both do a d8 of damage and you just want a sword because a sword's cool. Now you have legitimate strategic reason to pick one over the other. So a weapon, depending on the properties that it has, you can basically, the mastery property makes it so you add a property to it. So, for instance, Graze, the weapon has to be a melee weapon and be a heavy melee weapon. Those are the prerequisites. And then you as a character can master the Graze property. So a weapon that is melee and heavy, you will also be able to do this with it. If your attack roll misses, you can deal damage to that creature equal to your ability modifier. Because you grazed them.
Yep. Among other things, there's several other things on here that sound very typical, like cleave, flex. I
like Vex.
Slow. Vex, yeah, I like Vex. And there's also, there's those down there. So a lot of these have prerequisites of what type of weapon you use, and then there's like some at the bottom that just say none or no other properties.
Yep.
Which is fine, because that means that if you prefer to have different weapons you use, instead of just having one specific one, you can do those. But
it's interesting. Is there what weapon has no properties?
I think that means no prerequisite.
No prerequisite.
No. No other properties.
Yeah.
I believe that means no other property. So like it'd have to be one that has one.
Morningstar, Flail, and Maces don't have properties.
True, yeah.
That would apply to those.
Yeah, he is correct, because it says, so one has no other properties, the other prerequisite says none. So it is a weapon with no other properes.
They should probably
and then
change
none,
that
you can
to
just
no properties.
Yeah. Slow, you can just put that on any weapon.
Yep. So those are those. I very much enjoy this change for a few reasons, which we'll get into when we get into the classes that have been changed. But One of my biggest gripes with 5e's current existing system is that almost every Gish is better than a Marshal. Sorry, it's true. If you play a half-caster Marshal, you're probably going to be better than a Marshal. It's just true. And part of the reason of that is that the person that can cast spells and do all sorts of magical cool stuff and still hit hard with a sword can hit just as hard as someone that only can hit hard. But now, a lot of these half-casting classes, they don't get mastery unless it comes from a feat. Which I don't even know if they can get a feat for this. Fighter and Barbarian, at least, can get these masteries just in their classes. So now, their expertise with weapons will actually shine through. And they'll have extra effects. Which means there's a reason to play a Marshal class now. Who would have thought?
Yay!
I very much like that. You could actually be like, well, I want to be like a weapon master. Now you can do that. Before you really couldn't, because you could be like,
be a battle master.
Kind of.
The battle mage.
This is something that's been very popular in the community.
No, we don't want the mage part. Get
I've seen several people talking about like, how do you fix marshals? And everyone online is like, well, I just basically make battle master things for every marshal.
Yeah.
This is that kind of. But it's good, I think. Except for the net thing, still unforgivable. I will come to your home.
Topple. What does topple do? Only 2 things have topple.
Thank you.
I'm trying. Where would? If you hit a creature with this weapon, you can force the creature to. Oh, it just gets knocked prone. That's
Sounds about right. That does sound like a topple if ever I did hear one.
lances and mauls have topple.
Wow.
Oh wait, I was wrong. And tridents.
Now here's the big thing, though.
Which is really funny because you can throw tridents.
How does this impact character creation? Now you can go into it with the mind of doing something. And also, this also changes multi-classing, because now you could go like Fighter 2 to master a weapon. Jordan, how do you feel as if you were coming from a character creation standpoint? How do you feel about this weapon specificity going on here?
I think that it's really interesting because already I usually pick a lot of my character stuff on aesthetics, and then I think of function second. And I think that this actually lends itself to that a little bit. So the way that I usually plan out my characters is I make a spreadsheet with all of the levels figured out and what I'm taking when for what. And so I feel like it's going to add an extra level to multi-classing and picking those levels, because there's going to be a lot more strategy in like, what weapon proficiencies can I get? Like what mastery proficiencies can I get? And I think it's interesting to add this on top of like your other stuff that comes with multi-classing, because that's also the thing. If you multi-class into 2 classes that have mastery, how far can you get that to stack? That sounds like a TJ question.
It's not even 2 levels. It's 1 level.
Yeah.
Fighter and Barbarian both get weapon mastery at 1st level.
So this is how you get TJ playing a multi-class of literally every single martial that there is available.
Your training with weapons allows you to use a mastery property of, for Fighter, 3 kinds of simpler martial weapons, and for Barbarian, 2 kinds of simpler martial weapons. So if you have a level in both of those, that's 5.
That is, they maybe should treat that like they do spell slots when multi-classing, and be like, okay, no, you don't get them flat. There's like a table or something.
Weapon mastery table.
But I think especially TJ and I were talking about this the other night.
Wait a
when
minute.
This dropped.
Wait,
what?
that might be what it is. I'm looking at it right now. That might already exist.
Wow.
Because you get more as you level up.
Yeah.
So fighters get up to 5 and barbarians get up to, it's actually kind of like how attacks go up. But it's like 1 less. Or 1 more, excuse me, not 1 less. Barbarians get 4 eventually, and fighters get 5 eventually. So that might exist already, and I might just not. It might just be hidden in here somewhere that I need to read more.
ASTJ and I were talking about this last night about it, where now you can still have like Hexblade Warlock. They have a, identifiable weapon. That's their main weapon. And it is the most effective weapon for them because they get to have like their charisma modifier and all that stuff. But their use of their sword or whatever their weapon is will never be as masterful as a fighter who uses the same weapon. Like I always think, like, if you have a party and you have like a Gish, you have a half-caster, and you also have a martial, and they use the same weapon, and it's like, oh, well, how do you really tell them apart too much? How do they feel any different? I think now this is going to help a lot with the identifiability of your characters and how they're niche and how they feel different in their own group.
Yeah.
And
I agree. I think that this is also definitely going to even the playing field a little bit between casters, because there's just a certain threshold where if you are strictly martial, you are never going to do as much damage output as the caster, no matter how hard you try, and really it's a little discouraging. So I think this definitely kind of evens things out a little bit more.
I would agree.
But this isn't even, that's the thing too. It's not completely changing that dynamic necessarily. What it is it's giving marshals more support ability, which is good for them. It gives them more support ability to pick and choose what they want to be able to do to opponents on the field, which in turn allows them to synergize with the extremely high damage casters and create a better party experience.
Yeah, instead of the age-old, well, all of the spells going off, fighter, what are you doing? Well, I hit him.
And also the sad part
strategy
with the fighter is they have a chance to miss 3 of their attacks and only hit 1, whereas if the wizard hits with their 1 attack, it does 84 damage.
At rogue, it's my turn. I rolled a hit. I miss. Oh, that's my turn.
Yep.
Anyway. Okay, any more on weapons? Because we do still have 5 whole classes to get through, fellas.
Oh yeah.
Are we gonna get through all 5 classes is the question.
That is.
I like that the only pack now is the priest pack. I think that's good. I think we should only keep That's the only pack they put in adventuring gears.
Because that's the only thing that got changed.
Wow, I can't believe everyone is canonically a priest now.
Yep.
This is crazy news. Huge if true. That's a weird world. He's born. What priest is he? Lion King, Lion Priest. Anyway.
Lion Priest.
That's a lot of lions.
Make that a movie. No!
Okay, I say let's skip past new spells, go straight to classes, because, well,
we talked about
see.
the spells.
Yes, the spells, they will show up later anyway.
First Barbarian?
I would like to preface that with, I still think that the new division of spells is stupid, and I don't like it.
That's fair. That is worth noting. It's the arcane primal.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
I'm not for it. I don't hate it. I don't know yet. I don't know. I would have liked it more if they got rid of Bard's Magical Secrets, but they didn't. Anyway. Okay, so Barbarian. Let's see. I did read through it, but it was the first one I read.
They fixed Rage.
They did. I'm very happy with what they did with Rage.
That's very nice. Yeah, you can.
It's now 10 minutes.
For those of you who are obviously not reading this in front of you right now, Rage can now be extended with a bonus action each round. Taking damage doesn't extend it, but forcing someone to make a saving throw does. The focus is now on what you do, not on what's done to you. Also, the playtest Rage can last for 10 minutes rather than 1 minute. Yep. Finally, Rage is now stopped by the incapacitated condition, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I like it quite a bit. And I think I think our last combat even highlights this pretty well. You can increase it at your own will, but also it says you can extend it with a bonus action, but it also auto extends if you do what you used to do as a barbarian. So getting hit or not, or being damaged. So either barbarians have something to do with their bonus action now, or if they do already, they have to try and make it to where they don't want to use their bonus action on a rage. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, I want to use my bonus action for this extra thing I can do, so I want to get hit. But now it's not a have to.
Yeah.
To keep it up and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, now taking damage doesn't extend it. Getting hit by things doesn't extend it.
I think that Are we sure? Because I thought it still does. Oh no, it says it doesn't.
Taking damage does not extend it,
Mhm.
but forcing someone to make a saving throw does, which with the new weapon changes could happen like pretty much every turn.
It is also make an attack roll rather than damage an enemy. So if you miss, you don't lose your rage.
But yeah.
But yes, I like that it's now 10 minutes instead of 1, because that's also
Mm-hmm.
an issue.
I do find it really funny that it says that the rage will end early if you don heavy armor. You can't even do that in like the time. Doesn't it take
That's
15
10
minutes
minutes.
or something?
It takes
Yeah, like...
10 minutes to don armor, yeah.
Why did they? Okay. Well,
you get really mad and you put it off, but it's so like contemplative and it takes so long that you lost the.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny. Indomitable Might has been moved from 18th level to 9th level.
Yeah. Which is fine for me because they did a lot of swapping around of levels for these things, but it's fine because a lot of the features weren't that good at higher levels.
Yeah.
For some reason. I don't know who's in charge of that. What was the other thing I saw that was really interesting? You have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. If I remember, Rage says non-magical in 5e, doesn't it?
I want to say that is correct.
Yes.
Because this no longer specifies
now
that.
It's yep.
Shiny.
Resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Yep.
Very nice when fighting against like people with magic weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Or creatures that magically, not like naturally have magical attacks. So that's the big thing. See, I don't remember anything else huge coming from the Barbarian bait, like classic, like just Barbarian. The subclass, the Berserker, I really liked what they changed. But before we get into that, is there anything other like huge, cool thing?
Oh no, 5e is just for bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I was misremembering.
I went to check it.
Shit, we've been playing it as non-magical.
Oopsie.
Whoops.
You can't maintain concentration. You can't cast spells when you're raging.
That doesn't apply to me.
Also, very true, though.
The rules don't apply.
I tell you one thing that's super pedantic. I don't like that they changed unarmed movement or unarmored movement to fast movement. Or was it fast something? Yeah, no, fast movement.
Yeah, fast movement.
That's even worse.
They should have just kept that as unarmored movement. I don't know why they did that.
Or they could have used rage or like rage relentless movement or something like that. Or they have relentless rage, I guess. But still, they could have gone with something.
Go with the thematically appropriate words.
Angry movement.
Angry walk.
Power walk.
Yeah. Oh, what was it?
Criticals.
I saw something about skills. Was it Indomitable Might? No. It might have been in Path of the Berserker. But I remember reading somewhere in this that it was like you can now do certain checks. Yeah, primal knowledge. There it is, second level. On a handful of checks, acrobatics, intimidation, perception, stealth, or survival, you can make those into strength checks instead. As a barbarian.
That's funny.
It is, isn't it?
Heck yeah.
And it makes you actually be able to compete with the other skill people around you.
And if you're angry, you get to do them at advantage.
Which actually, that is good. That's good game design right there, huh? I like that because I always felt like barbarians were always the ones that are like most likely to fail checks because as a barbarian, you have to have dex, you have to have strength, you have to have con.
Hey, you don't have to have dex.
You don't have
True.
It helps a lot though if you do.
Yeah.
But like it was like they have no room for skill stuff. They don't get them in their class. They don't get expertise or extra proficiency. How are they ever? They can't even compete with the people like a druid that has high wisdom or a cleric that just would get good perception rolls because they don't have the ability to put ability scores or points into wisdom or charisma for persuasion and stuff or intimidation. And that's the joke all the time, right? Is like the barbarian can't intimidate.
Stealth is really odd to me. Out of all of these, stealth.
That's the one that's weird for you?
Well, also perception is
That's the one that's weird for me.
odd. I can get intimidation, definitely I can get being strength. Survival, I can kind of get it being strength. Acrobatics, yeah, tangentially, I can get it being strength. Perception and stealth, interesting. I'm still glad that they get them, but I feel like it's that thing of like, instead of actually being stealthy, you're just such a large, muscly person that people just choose to act like they don't see you because they're afraid you're going to beat their face in.
Don't want trouble.
I wonder. I almost feel like that's a fine selection, and a lot of it most of it I'm like, okay, sure, or I'm like, that's just a good skill to have. I wonder if it said it shouldn't be like pick X amount of skills you can now use as strength or something like that. Yeah, oh well. It's good though. I like that. And they did merge a few of the features. What was it? It's the danger sense and one of the other ones, and now it's feral instinct. You don't get that till 7th level now, so you get advantage on dex saves and advantage on initiative rolls at 7th level.
Oh, I like the new 17th level feature.
Roll initiative, gain a rage. That is pretty good.
Yes, that's cool because that always frustrates me that you have to wait to get a rage back for a long rest. And
it kind of makes sense too, because like you just entered into a combat, you're probably gonna get a little mad. And of all the things that they restore on like roll initiative, like there was the bardic inspiration before, meta magic for sorcerers. Those were all awful because you can only use them a little bit and they don't do that much. The barbarian who gets like 2 or 3 rages.
Rages their whole bag.
They never had that. But this is finally here.
Oh, also like at 13th level, your rage just goes on for good. You don't got to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, doing the bonus section.
Yeah, no, your rage is so fierce it now lasts for 10 minutes without needing to do anything to extend it.
Just do not put on that heavy armor.
Yeah, do not don heavy armor.
Whatever you do not.
It calms you for some reason.
It's like a weighted blanket. It's a weighted blanket. That's why.
Now I'm just imagining like a party where like some character is doing a rage is like an RP thing, and so the rest of the party is very hastily like trying to force them into a suit of plate armor to calm them.
That'd be really
Where's
funny.
the stress plate armor?
It's just it's a weighted blanket, guys.
He needs his comfort armor. Anything else about Barbarian Large before we go to Barbarian Berserk?
No, I mean, yeah, we can. I'm good.
Because I want to talk about this guy.
Yep. This one was the old doo-doo subclass for Barbarian.
This was the worst subclass for Barbarian IMO, but I think IMO and in SMO, so SOMO.
I'm not even gonna ask. I'm just gonna agree.
I feel like you're having a stroke.
Nope, I'm just gonna just agree with him, Jordan.
SOPO.
I will not.
Yes.
Sopo.
No.
Yes.
Do you smell toast?
Bread. Okay.
Just toast. Not burnt toast, just toast.
Just normal toast. First off, no longer you get... Okay, so the thing about Berserkers before was they did Rage, but they also did Frenzy, so they went into a super crazy damaging state. However, it caused you to get Exhaustion. And so you could only do it so many times, and every time you did do it, it made things worse for you. They got rid of that entirely.
Yeah!
And now the big thing they center around is using Reckless Attack, which is so much better. Because the value of having advantage and then getting advantage onto you, as opposed to literally taking exhaustion, way bigger cost comparison, or way different, I should say. I think using Reckless Attack all the time, if that's what you want to do as a Barbarian, which I think most of the time you would, unless you're like really scared that you might get downed.
Or unless you're me and forget that Reckless Attack is a thing.
It's going to be a frequently used feature, but if you if you're like me, where I'm the wild magic sorcerer in your upcoming one, Levi,
oh my goodness, that's really good too. What Frenzy does?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, sorry, I was just in the middle of reading that.
Yeah, where like I'm going to be playing a wild magic sorcerer, and I intended to use my wild magic stuff all the time, so I have as many wild magic surges as possible. I feel like the Berserker is for the Barbarian. That's like, yeah, as soon as I get Reckless Attack, every single attack always will be Reckless.
Yep.
It is made for that
pretty
person.
much just gives them not the exact equivalent, but it does like a very similar thing to Sneak, where it just gives them an extra bunch of D6s to add to their damage. Equivalent to your bonus rage damage. That's how many D6s you get.
Yes, which is all right, because they at most will get 4 at the higher levels. For a while it'll be 2, and then 3 in the middle there.
Yep.
Not
but still,
nothing.
4 extra D6. That's a maximum of 4 damage, or not maximum of 4 damage. God damn it! A maximum of 6 times 18, 24 extra damage, and a minimum of 4 extra damage. Averaging at what? 12? No. Yes. 12 extra damage.
Math.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah. Not awful. It's flavorful. That's what I care about most. And
it's for each attack.
Oh no, it's first on your turn.
Oh, is it?
First target you hit on your turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
That balances that out a little bit then.
Yeah, it's like sneak attack. You only get it once, even if you have multi-attack. But that's fine. I mean, it's not super powerful, but it's flavorful. It has an identity, and it doesn't feel like you're fighting against yourself to play this subclass anymore. That's what I really appreciate. This is a viable option with this. It's so good. Honestly, I'm kind of like really making this subclass feel good about itself, but it's so good to the point that if I ever were to like homebrew stuff, I would probably take this change over the existing 5e Berserker. Because if
I were a rich man.
That was my
you going into
frenzy.
rage?
Yeah, I was frenzying.
No, I got you. I understood.
Thank you. Anything else before we go on to the Fight Boy?
Hubis.
All right, Fight Club.
That was it. That was the anything.
Yeah.
I like trains.
Important, gigantic feature for fighter. Everyone's been clamoring for this. Persuasion has been added to your skill list. Thank God. No one tell TJ this. Action surge is now limited to fighter actions.
That's really funny.
R.I.P.
Oh, I remember I think we've talked about this before, but they really are trying to not let multi-classing be as huge as it is in 5e.
Yeah, which is interesting because they've taken some steps which have actively
they're
reversed
counterintuitive.
that course. Like we have discussed in this with the mastery of weapons, that could be big multi-class dippage right there. But then other things, like this, where it's blatantly no multi-classing,
It's interesting. They haven't neutered action surge, because what I looked at it's basically attack only or like dodge, disengage, dash, I think. Simple stuff. So it's not neutered. It's just that now your gishes are probably not going to take this and try and make use of it and like cast a spell and then attack.
Your word we probably can't use that TJ uses to describe his multi-classing.
Yeah, exactly though. And then of course, their big thing is they all are like weapon masters now, so you can get a whole bunch of those things from those masteries, which is also very good for the fighter. Because what I've been done saying that the thing about fighters, they should feel like a walking armory that has mastery over all sorts of weapons and can just put anyone to shame. And here we are. They've done it. They're listening to me.
They've been done doing.
They have been listening. Wizards, pay us.
Please.
Give us our money, wizards.
I am lonely.
I know you're in the walls.
No, that's just Taryn.
He's working for them?
No, he just likes it there.
I feel like that's the big thing. The other thing, weapon adept. I gotta read this because I'm looking through it. Not much else is different other than that from what I'm seeing, which is fine.
Fight and hit things.
Weapon adept. I think that's just more stuff.
You are a master of weapons. When you use a weapon expert feature on a kind of weapon, you can give that weapon 2 properties rather than 1.
Oh.
But you only use 1 property at a time.
Not bad.
But that does make you very versatile.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you a lot of malleability
Yes.
with what you want to do.
That's gonna make him so much better. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Jordan, you were right. This is
So
gonna
now-
like
Now we
people-
have a problem,
what?
which is that I don't like about probably 50% of what they've done with the 1D&D playtest material, but then I think they've done some really good things with the rest of it.
Yeah, this is why we're just gonna do what we continue to do and have a weird mishmash of additions, I'm assuming.
Well, this is. I mean, I don't know how official it's gonna stay. They keep saying it's playtest. It's just playtest. Don't worry, it's just playtest. I agree. I think a lot of this document is pretty good. Wait till we get to Warlock. I think a lot of this is pretty good. But I think all the older ones have been pretty bad.
Yeah, the other stuff has been crap.
It's been either
The first one wasn't
inoffensive.
horrible.
Yeah, it's been okay or bad.
And then the other ones have either been, like completely neutral or
Mm-hmm.
Or just like, why?
Especially, I think the worst offender was Druid Paladin.
It was really bad.
Druid Paladin was really bad.
It was
because
bad.
Did we ever? I don't think we ever touched on that.
We briefly
we?
mentioned it. We didn't do a full episode about it, but I think we've mentioned
Basically,
it.
They were like, "Oh, you guys think Paladins are like the strongest class in 5e? How about we just dial that up to like a 40 for 1D&D?" Which I'm a Paladin main, and I think they're busted. And I think they should have literally, if they would have not changed Paladin at all, would have been fine. I personally agree with like what some other people believe, which is that there are some areas that they probably could be nerfed and it would still be a very viable class. But yeah, no, and then they just completely like doo-dooed on Druid and nerfed them into the ground.
You want to be a fun little animal turning person? Guess what? Get out of my game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We made Paladins more overpowered so that anyone who plays a Paladin just wins. And we made Druids even more underpowered.
Now, we are still trying to get through this UA before we talk about that one. We may have to circle back because I do want to talk about the importance of balance between classes. Because a lot of people online, if you ever complain about a class being too strong or too weak, I'll know a common thing is like, well, who's it hurt? And there is an answer for who that hurts, but I don't know if now's the time to address it while we're still going through the other classes.
Actually, every time that Wizards makes classes imbalanced, it actually physically hurts me.
Only Levi. Levi's the only one.
Oh, never mind. Not me.
It's like a voodoo doll. No, they have this little thing in their office that every time they have to make it, the only way they're allowed to imbalance the classes is they have to flick this switch. They're not allowed to, otherwise the ghost of Gary Gygax comes back from the grave and haunts all of them. So they have to flick this switch to keep him at bay. But that switch actively gives me testicular torsion.
Oh my god.
So untrue, Worsty. I got to say it! Yay! Okay. Start,
and
please.
I have to live with that.
Please, everyone, hashtag so untrue Worsty. Please make this
At
trending.
Levi J. Coons on Twitter.
I want everyone to just start saying that phrase.
So untrue Worsty.
Okay. Anyway, back to the fighter. Yeah, they are a fighter. And the champion subclass that accompanies it is, I'm pretty sure, very similar or the same. Your criticals are, you have a wider range of your criticals.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah. And that's fine. I really like champion, honestly. It's very simple, but there is something cool to the idea that you can crit anytime you roll an 18, 19, or 20.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
You're a little glorious guy. You're a little
If you get 10 levels of this and then go the rest Barbarian, I'm not sure if you get brutal critical with that.
Oh,
dude, yeah.
We're trying to steer away from multi-classing in 1D&D, guys.
Oh, brutal critical's 11, so you wouldn't.
They knew. They
figured it out. Any more points?
We're actually making you able to get to level 21 in 1D&D.
Anything else? Because next we got our first caster of the list, and these guys go kinda hard. Feel free to screenshot.
Hey, We hope you enjoyed the episode you just listened to. If you really like our content, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on YouTube, and look for us on Spotify. If you'd like to see us continuing to do more fun projects in the future, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can find our page linked in the description above all of our other social media links. And finally, if you'd like to keep up with the zany shenanigans of our lives and check out some more skit-based content and things like that, check us out on Twitter and TikTok, links in the description. And hey, thanks!